What's up, everyone? Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. We haven't seen each other since before Christmas. Well, not Ian and I, but the two of you and us.
Something going on here.
What happened?
Okay, there it is.
What happened?
I felt locked in.
Oh, let me make sure you're still in focus.
The thing was behind your seat. I couldn't move.
Oh, there you go. We'll make you a little more visible.
You want to do that again?
No.
I love the straight style.
Yeah,
This is
no,
gorilla.
we don't do shit again. It's late and I'm not gonna edit it after that anyway.
We don't do shit again.
I don't edit.
I love that.
What is this like?
You're like, it's late.
An instructional video or something?
Right.
No. We speak the truth. The truth is spoken
Exactly.
with fluidity,
Right.
not with
This is some funk
behind
rock.
cinematic, skill, which I don't possess anyway. But anyway, so what was I gonna open with? I had an opener prepared and I forgot it. That's
Because we don't prepare shit.
because we don't prepare. Yeah, the fires are raging right now all
my
over
gosh.
Los
LA.
Angeles. Well, the northern and the eastern part of LA, Pasadena and Altadena and fucking no.
Palisades.
The Palisades is like burned down completely. I believe
Malibu.
Malibu is not so. I don't think it's reached. They evacuated Malibu and parts of Santa Monica, but
Where was it where they had to? My mom called me from Delaware.
my mom is calling me every like.
Was all worried
Yeah.
because the news that she's getting, and I hadn't even been keeping up with it. But she said she saw where they were getting like these big snow movers or something like that.
Oh.
I was like, snow movers out in California, but so many cars were blocking the highway. They were just like bulldozing cars.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And she was like, people left so quickly and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess got stuck.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen that, but right now the Hollywood Hills started burning a little bit earlier, like maybe 4 hours ago. Not as bad. I think they're containing that thing. And just now I saw, like maybe half an hour ago, there's a fire by Whitsett and Ventura,
Wow.
Studio City. So they're
That's kind of where I work ish, like
they're,
tomorrow.
they're killing it from above, from
Wow.
what I understand. But it's
Oh,
scary.
with
because,
airplanes
I don't know what they use, but yeah.
dropping water in the foam.
Yeah, but
Pretty
it's
serious.
small right now, but it's like it's on one property. I think it's a huge property too, but still, that thing spreads like like fire.
Yeah.
But anyway, I hope everybody is okay.
It's crazy how
or-
much damage is probably happening to people's houses and stuff.
Oh, it's all burned down, man. Poly High, the high school, it's all burned down.
No way.
It's out. It's done. Yeah, the Topanga Canyon going up there. That's where the fire is. Everything is fucking gone.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's scary, right? It's scary, like really scary, But oh, yeah.
How much of it is it still growing, or do they have any of the?
Dude, I don't
contains?
know because just now, I mean, it's not windy anymore outside.
It was super windy yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was crazy. I've never seen a wind like this in LA.
Yeah.
And yesterday was crazy, and today also pretty windy, and that doesn't help the fires at all. Yesterday was Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I think Maria's son goes to Pali High, and she said, "Oh shit, my son called me that he's coming home because they're sending him home because of the fires, right?
Wow.
So the fires hadn't gotten there yet. This morning I wake up, it's burned down.
That's insane.
That's insane. Less than 24 hours, the whole area is burned down,
And you figure out high
they
school, it's like
barely-
structurally sound.
I heard that somebody was telling me here today about the Getty Villa
Yeah.
in Malibu. I think it also caught on fire. I had tickets to see an exhibition there, and I postponed seeing that exhibition for like I don't know how long. I should have gone there during the winter break or even the Thanksgiving break.
It's burned down or it's in danger.
It's burned down. I believe it's burned down. And they
Is that where
have
the
like
museum is?
walls. Yeah, the museum.
I was just there a couple months ago.
Crazy. It's it's crazy. I don't even know what happened and all that. Maybe it hasn't. Maybe the museum hasn't burned down. I don't know. Check it out if you want, but I'm not sure. It's called the
Wow.
Getty Villa, not the Getty Museum. The Getty Museum is here.
Okay.
They have
There's two Getty.
the Getty Museum is here in in the hills by Wilshire,
Okay.
and the Getty Villa is down in Malibu.
Which one is it that you can see when you're on the 405 going to the valley?
That's the Getty Museum.
Okay.
Yeah, the other one you can see from the PCH, I think. If you can, I'm not sure.
Yeah, the
Pepperdine.
villas and the
Pepperdine.
Palisades.
What?
It just says Palisades, so I'm sure that's what we're talking about.
Correct, but let's see if it's C News. Getty Villa narrowly escapes Palisades fire without significant damage.
So
11
that
hours,
would-
but that's 11 hours ago. Getty Villa grounds catch fire 13, no,
10.
10 hours. These flames another like I don't know. Getty Villa ground go up in flames. Oh shit! 10 hours ago on the Palisades fire. 12 hours ago, 13 hours ago, one day, 9 hours ago. Palisades fire burns near Getty Villa Museum untouched. Well, okay, good. He hasn't burned down.
Yeah.
At least it's
That's
given.
crazy
I mean, but
though. I didn't know it was that crazy. I
don't-
tell you.
I heard it has. Someone here was telling me just today, this morning, that it has like this protection for fire and flooding and stuff like this. I mean, not that we're gonna get flooded here probably, but he has protection for fire. But it's not. By the way, LA is like not built for any of that shit. Like for flooding also. If there is like continuous rain for 10 days,
Oh, we're in trouble out
we're
here.
in trouble because there is no. The rainwater does drain.
Well, they had the
But
the
it's-
LA River.
Yeah, but it's not.
Because remember we had some
The streets are
significant
not.
rains
The streets
last
are
year?
not exactly built for rain.
No,
No.
not for
We did
anything
have
crazy.
significant rain last year. Yeah.
And the LA River got filled up. I mean, it was
Yeah.
crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. It was beautiful though. It was.
I'm not a rain person, but I will tell you, it was.
I like rain. I don't like continuous rain. I get tired of it. Like I won't get tired of a whole summer full of sun, but
Right.
I would get tired of continuous rain. But I wouldn't mind rain like for a day or two. You know.
It doesn't really rain out here. Where I
No.
come from, when it rains, it will rain hard and it will rain all day. And when I say all
Yeah,
day,
yeah.
I mean from like the morning until the night.
That's
it
how
doesn't
it was.
do that
That's
here
how it
really.
was last year.
That's how it was. It was
Last
the
year we
first
had
time I
like
saw
3
something
days
like
in
that.
a row. Yeah, it
Yeah.
hasn't been. Yeah, I hadn't seen that before. Here we have rain like the Pacific rain. You know, like.
And if does rain
drizzles.
hard, it'll do that for like 40 minutes.
Yeah, and then it's over. I remember in Johannesburg in South Africa, the rain. It doesn't rain in the winter, but it rains in the summer. Just like the opposite of here, right? And the winter there is like dry, cold. It's freezing. Like I mean, not freezing literally, but it's dry, cold, and shitty.
Did
You know.
you snow there?
No. It doesn't snow, but I actually saw it when I was there for. It's been the first time in I don't know how many years I saw snow, like snowflakes, but it was just for like very, very short time, and nobody was dressed for it. Nobody was prepared. No, but it was not like it didn't.
Have
like,
you ever seen snow out here?
In Big Bear, not in LA.
I was doing a job way up north, and I was with a kid. I was doing security in a vehicle full of valuable stuff,
Yeah.
and he was the driver, and we were out like Humboldt area,
Huh?
and it was kind. I remember it was kind of sketchy because he's like a Mexican kid, so we were like the only color
Yeah,
in
you
the,
guys were ready to get.
with a van full of value. It was sketchy, but it was colder, but it started snowing. And it was the first time this kid had ever seen snow. And he was just like, oh, it was like a baby that
Did you have to? Oh, but it doesn't. If it doesn't.
It wasn't crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, this isn't really snow, bro.
Yeah.
But I could understand for him. I mean, this dude was like,
Yeah.
he was like 25 years old. He'd never seen snow before in real life.
Or,
Which is crazy. My mom called me about these fires yesterday. She said there's 10 inches of snow in Delaware.
there
I
is
was
not-
like, it
there-
hasn't been that much snow since I was a little boy. I remember being a
the
little
Midwest
boy.
is the Midwest is with warnings for like I I don't know, like extreme cold and shit right
What's
now.
going on? Global warming is supposed to do the other thing. Like,
No, it's not. It's the global warming is it's warming, but it's like it's warming the oceans, but that causes changes, like drastic changes in the temperatures of
right.
the climate. Like
When I was little,
not necessarily getting warmer.
it would
could get
snow every year.
way colder. Yeah, same in Bulgaria.
Okay, every year. I remember I used to throw papers when I was like 8, and it was
Ugh.
snow. As I got into middle school and high school, it snowed less and less. After
Same with
it
me.
hasn't snowed in
You and I are the same age. Same
years.
with me. Same with me. I don't know how Delaware is compared to.
It's
to
similar to like New
Bulgaria.
York,
Yeah, Bulgaria is similar to New York. It's more or less on the same. I think it's on the
like
same.
line.
Yeah. So, but also the climate where I'm from, the city, the Sofia where I'm from, it's like the climate is similar.
That's the capital.
Yeah, it's similar to that because we have the four seasons, right? But in the winter it used to snow. And I remember clearly when I was in elementary school, we would play snowballs. Like it was a given. We just wait for the first snow, which was sometime in late November or early December, you know, always. And after that, and that was like guaranteed. If it didn't snow until early December, it was late, but it would. And then
Like
it
when
snowed
it would
throughout
snow,
February.
like
It got that deep.
like
in the city.
like feet, like
in
2
the-
feet, a feet.
What? I don't know about 2 feet. I never. I
2
don't
feet
think-
is a lot.
Yeah, 2 feet is a lot, but I would say like a foot and a half. A foot, a solid foot. You know, you have to wear. You have to wear. Tall, like long boots.
You'd have to shovel your.
You'd have to shovel.
That's
You'd
what
have
we
to
did all the
shovel.
time. Cars are kind of spinning.
You have to clean up the car to get it out in the
Right.
morning, you know, in the street. But what I'm saying is that was happening in the city. The mountains were even crazier. I've been in the
Sure.
mountains in the summer, in the winter, and that's feet of snow.
Yeah,
And
it's probably way colder too.
yeah, I mean, it is colder, but Sofia is in a valley also.
Okay.
So it does keep the cold.
Okay.
It gets really cold in the winter in the city too, because it's in a valley. But and so the cold just sits there.
Right.
Same with the heat in the summer.
Just like our valley.
Yeah, just same thing. Yes, it gets really cold here in the summer.
It gets
in the
really
winter.
hot though.
In the summer, yeah, it's crazy.
I used to live in North Hollywood
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
first moved out here.
That's where I had my store back before. It's
Oh really? Oh no,
crazy,
burger.
man. Oh man, I couldn't fucking keep up with this AC that I had there. Like,
Struggling.
bro, that fucking thing was like, it wasn't breaking often, but it just couldn't keep up. You know,
Yeah.
when it gets like hot, you needed the AC obviously.
Yeah.
When it gets that hot, it just it can't keep up. You
Poor
know?
fella.
It was bad, and yeah, I had it repaired a couple of times. It wasn't that bad, but it was like still pretty fucking.
Yeah.
And it was a small place too. Still,
Shout out to NoHo Burger AC unit.
I don't. Yeah.
Real quick. I don't know. You probably haven't heard this because you're like legitimate. And you're an adult. But this kind of crashes my world.
You're not an adult.
All the streaming, all the bootleg streaming sites,
Uh-huh.
like the three main ones that I know, and
Porn?
no, I don't consume porn a whole lot anymore. I'm talking about
porn sites are not bootleg. They're just legit.
they're legit,
You're talking about. I understood the question.
Sports.
Sports streaming.
dude. There's Stream East, crack streams, and meth streams. That's where I would watch all the action.
Yeah.
Dana White had like this little campaign against all that, and I was just like, you're not gonna fucking do anything. You're not gonna do anything. It happened.
Yeah.
If you go to those sites now, well, if you go to crack streams or mess streams, there's a letter there. Sorry, they got me. You know, I'm not doing it anymore. And Stream East doesn't have a message, but you can't access anything on it.
Come on.
So I had a mild, like, shock. I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
You got a little.
Luckily, I got a
tantrum.
friend.
You should throw a tantrum on your phone.
I mean,
It's like-
I was by myself at work in a little room when I found out. So there was some cursing going on. I put on a show for myself, trust me. Because I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. But then I remember I got a friend that has a UFC Pipe Pass that hooked me up with the link. So
Yeah, but they don't show they don't show the fucking. You can watch fights all you want, but they don't show the they don't even show the free fights, the fight night. The ESPN Plus shows the fight night.
Is that right?
Yeah, so it's not Fight Pass. Fight Pass will have it afterwards.
Oh.
Just like Fight Pass will have the.
Because there's a fight night this weekend.
Yeah.
Mackenzie Dern against Amanda Ribas or something.
It's one of those doesn't matter fight nights.
I'm not that mad that I'm gonna miss it, but I still like watching it. You know?
I like
Mackenzie
my-
Dern is my girlfriend,
Yeah, she's solid. You know.
and I think she's single again. She's having trouble.
I don't know if she's single again, but isn't her boyfriend a fighter?
Not anymore.
No, not this
they
guy.
just broke up again,
Oh,
and
shit.
he has some kind of trouble. He got into a fight. Okay, something happened where her new boyfriend, or her newer boyfriend, and her baby's daddy
Yeah.
got into it, and then I think that dude and her broke up. I have these sites that I get all this information from, and I'm like, she's the only one that really keep up with like the gossip because I like her and I've been following her since she was.
We are hoping for
Hey.
for her to notice that you're stalking her.
So you're saying there's a chance? Every time I see her, she smiles at me. I mean, I know it's on my phone and everything, but
Every time she has something to say, it feels like she's talking to me.
talking to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you have a crush on that the lesbian girl? What's her name?
Gabby Garcia?
No.
She's not lesbian either.
No.
She told us that she likes black guys, and
She does.
well, that was a whole joke. Remember that thing I sent you with Craig?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. That was, yeah.
Did you ever see the interview that they did before the
He did the blackface.
CJI?
He did the blackface.
It wasn't technically blackface, but it was.
It wasn't a Robert Downey Jr. blackface.
It wasn't Robert Downey Jr. Which, I mean, that could be a conversation at some point, but
Shit.
Robert Downey Jr. did that shit so.
He immersed himself. He did it like
Dude, it was so good that no one was mad.
you didn't know if it was Samuel L. Jackson or Robert
And like I
Downey
said,
Jr.
nobody was mad.
Oh shit.
If we get mad, we'll let you know that we're mad.
Okay,
We're
yeah.
like, that's some bullshit. He did it, and it was just like, bravo.
My man is an actor.
That was
Like-
fantastic.
like-
It was so expertly done.
Look, in the past they used to have like theater plays where men would portray women. How do you
Right.
think women felt about that? You know. And then you had a black man portraying or a white man portraying a black woman. Now that's like that must be like fucking oh, that's a no.
At a certain point,
It's not just a no. That's a no. Hold on, let me take my jacket off.
yeah, but it was like, why did they do stuff like that?
Cool. Blackface or a man portraying
Well,
women?
blackface was, I know why they did that.
I don't know
but
the history of
there-
it, but
There was a time when they would have dudes, and I know a lot of, I think I've seen it in like Japanese theater, they would have dudes playing girls, but it wasn't like on any oppressive stuff.
no, it was just they
It
didn't
was
have
just-
female actors.
Right, that was like
Yeah,
their
yeah,
culture.
that's what
So
I'm
I
saying.
kind of get that. That's no big deal. But blackface
Women were
blackface wasn't as innocent.
preparing dinner in the back of the theater. Women were making the sandwiches in the
They were
back.
cleaning up.
They were cleaning up after the wigs. Sweeping after the wigs.
I know Val's not watching, so see if you'd come on.
Next time, in the beginning of the next episode, we're gonna say something about Val,
Okay.
and then we'll see how she reacts the next time she's or Sasha also.
Yeah.
This way, we can see
Who's
who watches
watching.
and who doesn't. In fact, we don't even have to wait. The beginning of next episode, we're gonna badmouth everybody we know here.
Talk shit
Talk shit
just
about
to see,
everyone
just
we
to
know.
see. And
then-
whoever says something, we should give them a prize.
Yeah, there should be. Okay, so if you're watching, you're not watching it. Who am I kidding? Who am I talking to?
This is so ridiculous, so funny. We're just gonna talk mad shit
We're
about
gonna,
people.
that TV networks, they have their ways of seeing the viewership.
Nielsen.
We got ours.
That's funny.
We have our way, Imagine if everybody turns their back on us and they all get upset because they all saw it. We're like, oh fuck, guys, we didn't mean it, man.
We're like
They're like, we'll
pariahs.
never watch you again. We lose like
All three.
all like 3 viewers at the
You
same
know?
time. It's gonna be we'll never recover financially.
I'm still trying to get monetized up in here. That's the goal.
Shit, man. Thank God I don't have to get paid to be elsewhere right now.
No, no,
I've been losing.
no.
Oh.
Sometimes you got to go after the dream, though.
Hey, let me ask you this. Remember we were talking about? We never followed up on that because that was like right before Christmas, I think. But the Tyson Fury and Usyk fight.
Oh my gosh.
What a fight that was! That was good. That was
Oh.
really good fight. Usyk is a master.
He is. I
And
watched
Tyson Fury is really good.
He's really
but
good.
Usyk kind of schooled him a little bit there.
I watched Luke Thomas did like a breakdown of the fight, like his thoughts, and I kind of learned a lot. I enjoy watching good boxing, but a lot of times I don't really know what I'm seeing. I know
Yeah.
if it's good, guys getting dominated or a dude is, but Luke Thomas was like, he said Usyk is like a once in a generation type fighter.
He is, yeah. He is.
He says he's masterful at changing or calling audibles. If he needs to change something real quick, he'll during the break he'll come back and he'll change it.
Mayweather was like that.
He mentioned Mayweather.
Mayweather would go in between rounds. So Mayweather had a fight with Zab Judah. Zab Judah was an Olympic champion and then became like a very good pro. Zab Judah was a southpaw, and Mayweather would always fight his Philly shell, right? But when he fought southpaws, he would open up with high guard, which is what he did with Conor McGregor. He was fighting a high guard, right?
He was considerably smaller than Conor.
He was smaller than Conor, but even if you're smaller, you can still play the shell because he did that against Miguel Cotto. Because what happens is you're using your shoulder as a defense, and then because
And
there
you're
is no
making
danger of you being attacked, like taking you back or something, right? They can, it's just the nature of the guard. But with Conor, he didn't use it because I think I'm not an expert on that, so don't quote me. But I have noticed, because I've seen all of Mayweather's fights, I have noticed that anytime somebody turns southpaw on him, even if it's temporarily, he would go into high guard. I think he wasn't. There is a reason for him not to play Philly shell against a southpaw.
So there's some kind of opening there.
There must be some kind of vulnerability, and I don't know what it is because I'm not as much of an expert.
See, now I want to ask somebody about that. I'm trying to think, who do I know?
We can ask
That's-
Rich or somebody.
that's
I don't know.
interesting.
Or yeah, I'll ask the other Rich, the one that comes here, is the boxing coach. I'll ask him about it, what he thinks. But anyway, and so. When Mayweather fought Zab Judah, that's the one time that he got knocked down because he touched the glove on the canvas. When in boxing, if you get hit and you touch the glove to the canvas, it's like you're kind of bracing yourself so you don't fall completely,
Right.
It's considered a knockdown. He touched the glove barely and then he pulled it right back up and the ref didn't give it a knockdown, so he should have gotten a knockdown. That wouldn't have changed the course of the fight because he still won it considerably. But that was in the first rounds, I believe. In the first four, happening in one of the first 4 or 5 rounds. That was a 12-round fight. And Mayweather you could see that he was adjusting from round to round, seeing what he was giving Zab Judah different looks and all that stuff. Watch that fight. It's really, really interesting to see.
Yeah, that's got to be hard to do when you're just like, okay, I got this guy, and you need to train for his tendencies, and then to be able to recognize oh shit, he's doing something different, to see what he's doing, to figure it out, and then to be like, to adjust to it.
And then he talks with his coach, Mayweather, and the coach is like, you gotta do this, and then Mayweather is like talking to him also, it's like fucking like they're having a discussion, like dissecting what happened and what could be done about it.
Right.
But he would adjust on the fly, like one of those fighters. And a lot like George St. Pierre was one of those guys.
He's
He would
he's
adjust on the
super.
fly.
He has some super high fight IQ.
Yeah. A lot of, not a lot of fighters, that's what I meant saying. Not a lot of fighters are like that because most fighters will go there with plan A and then plan B. But the problem is that there was something very interesting that I heard. I think Kyle posted that. I'm trying to remember he was a coach coaching, I think, wrestling. and he was saying that most, he was talking about wrestling, but you can translate that to fighting, any kind of combat sport. As a matter of fact, any type of sport. Most people will think about preparing for an event, for whatever they're competing in, by scouting at that level, by scouting their opponent. And let's say you and I are gonna fight, and my coaches tell me, okay, so he's got a very nice, very good left hook, but he only throws that left hook. He never throws it as a lead. He always throws it after his right. Okay, so you gotta know that once the right is thrown, the left hook is coming.
Right.
So I start preparing like mad for that shit. You know, like fucking okay. I maybe I parry the right, and then from there I have to duck right automatically. And boxers do that all the time.
Right.
Right. And that coach was saying, how about you know what he's good at, but don't spend all your time preparing for what he's good at. Make your opponent go into an uncomfortable zone where he's not good at, you know? So instead of...
Crone says that too.
Yes,
Make your
so,
opponent uncomfortable.
so, so when you go to fight somebody that has a good left hook, also go ahead and see the fights where he got in trouble, right? And when he gets in trouble, what kind of, like even Mayweather, undefeated record, but when you watch, he got some fights where he got in a little bit of a trouble, right?
Yeah.
And it's usually brawlers, like Maidana was brawling with him.
Who was the dude that, the Mexican dude, I think?
Jose Luis Castillo?
No, the dude, Mayweather knocked him out. It was a really weird fight. But this dude kept either headbutting
Well,
Mayweather,
you're
but
thinking about...
the fight stopped, and then the dude looked at the ref, and the ref did something, and then the ref turned his back, and then the dude tried to be like, "Hey, bro."
No, that's Castillo. Yeah, that's Castillo.
I think his name was Castillo.
Yeah, Jose Luis Castillo. Yeah, he headbutted him, and he headbutted
Okay.
Mayweather on the ropes, and
The ref,
the ref stopped it.
and the dude kind of wanted to be
and
like,
the dude wanted to apologize and all that, but it wasn't the first time he headbutted.
It wasn't
That's
the first
thing, yes.
time.
So Mayweather, so the ref goes fight, and then the guy goes like if it's jiu-jitsu, you know, like slap and bump.
I
He
don't
was
think,
like-
did the dude
and
say fight?
the
don't
ref,
know
yeah,
that.
the ref told him to go. No, the ref told him to go. Watch that video again. The ref told him to go.
Oh, see,
The
because
ref turned to
it looked really
to show
bizarre.
the time.
It looked
But
almost
the ref
fake.
went like this and then turned to the timekeeper, I think, you know, to start the clock.
I don't think the Mexican dude noticed that. I think he thought there was a lull
Probably
in
not,
action.
yeah, probably
because
not.
he would be like, "Oh shit, my bad," and I think he was waiting.
Listen, man.
And then
every fucking
Mayweather-
referee tells you protect yourself at all times. There is a reason for every referee to say that.
100%, 100%. And
And-
the dude was cheating. But one thing that I remember in that fight, because I was watching that fight, the announcers were like that the Mexican dude was averaging 100 punches per round, and they were like, if you could do 100 punches per round, you could beat Mayweather. The thing is, you can't keep up 100 punches per round for an
Well,
entire fight. And
he was-
the dude did it for like 3 or 4 rounds, and he looked good. But then you could see it taped like the fall off,
Yeah.
and that happened fast.
That's one of the fights that Mayweather was in a little bit of trouble because he
Yeah.
was getting driven back, and you know people still think
But
that
the guy could not continue that.
the
that pace.
one that he gave rematch to Maidana too was against
Maidana, that name sounds familiar.
Marcos Maidana, the Argentinian guy. I think he's
Okay.
Argentinian, and the first time he fought Mayweather, he went all out. And when I say all out, he would go like literally brawling, and then he would crowd Mayweather, and like head first, and then he would start throwing, kind of like Katie Taylor did to Amanda Serrano.
Right.
Kind of the same kind of thing, but so maybe there were headbutts and stuff too. I can't remember, like incidental headbutts. I don't remember that, but I know Mayweather was like not feeling well about it, and he just couldn't get into his rhythm. You know, every fighter is a rhythm fighter. You know, everything is about rhythm. You know, you get into rhythm, and you play your game, and every sport, I think, you know, you can't just go off rhythm. But he couldn't get into it. But he was safe enough to start in the later rounds. He was looking good, right?
And he's in super good
And then
shape.
when you look at the slow-mo, it looked like Maidana was killing him and all that. But when you look at the replay, he wasn't really connecting. He was connecting like here and like all
Right.
that stuff. So it wasn't really, but it was a bit.
Was it close-ish?
I mean, you could say that because of it. I don't think it was as close as people would like it to believe.
Close enough to get a rematch.
But it wasn't even as close enough to get a rematch if you ask me. But he got a rematch anyway,
Well, okay.
and Mayweather killed him.
How was it scored? Was it scored
I can't
closely?
remember. It was scored relatively close, but not as close as a rematch. You know, like it was relatively close, but nothing crazy.
Do you remember if it was scored close to how it looked? Final question. Was it?
There's a
on
lot
your
of
first view. Was it like, oh man, he got dominated, and then the score was
people put a lot of bias for and against Mayweather,
right?
mostly against.
Sure. Because no one likes him.
Usually, well, if you're a black fighter or black person in general, American that is, you will definitely go with Mayweather, biased with Mayweather against, especially if he goes against Latino fighters. Yeah, I've noticed that.
Okay, let's
100%.
say, and coming, I'm a card carrying member. 99, and this is me personally, and usually that is the rule, right? Obviously, you're rooting for the black guy.
Right.
When you're
right.
me,
and,
right?
and he's American too.
But I will say, with Mayweather, I've got such an aversion to the
Yeah, I
behavior
don't like the
and the
guy
attitude
either. I don't like the guy either.
that when he used to fight, I wanted to see him. Honestly, I didn't.
Right.
You know.
But I'm saying that that's the bias.
I don't wish him any bad. But
That's the for bias, right?
Yeah.
Then there's a lot of against bias, and a lot of it comes from the fact that he
I don't
fights,
like him, but he's
he
really
fights
good.
he fights on the back foot, right? So he's always like back. Then he would pivot out and
Right.
throw a little combo, and he would smack you with his uppercut, and that's scoring.
He's like a point-
That's scoring.
like a point
He's
fighter.
a counter fighter, right? And so.
because he's not knocking anybody out either.
Well, he in the first fights he was. In his first fights he was. After that he like his first.
Well, he switched his style.
He
kind of.
switched his style, yes. But in his first fights, he was knocking people out, and after that, he became more.
Why did that happen?
I think he switched style. I think he.
Why? If he was doing well then.
Well, because you can't do
He
well.
probably
Because
had. I wonder because he had. I think he switched because he had to. But I'm wondering why he.
Mayweather was bronze medalist or bronze medalist Olympic in Atlanta. So he had a very good amateur career, or amateur pedigree, I should say, not a career. So
Bronze, huh?
bronze Bulgarian guy beat him in the semifinal.
Wow.
And Mayweather couldn't get to the final, and he's still bitter about it, and of course, and
Oscar won
he
it.
still thinks that he won it and all that stuff. Anyway, so he had the bronze medal, so he was a big name already, right? So when you start your pro career, very seldom it starts with a big fight like Lomachenko, who actually lost his first fight. Very seldom it starts with a bigger name, so it starts with smaller, like they build up your record. And he was fighting a lot of scrubs, I guess, right? I mean
Tomato
scrubs,
cans,
right. So when you do that, you can, and you're at that level.
Okay, I got you.
You're a 0-0 professional
Right.
fighter, but you're still favored to win.
Right. I got it.
So he did that, right?
When he started getting better
and
competition,
after that, with better competition,
He couldn't-
then he was experimenting, and I think his father used to play the field shell and all that stuff, so he knew the system, he knew and he just stuck with it and gave him success. But it's a defensive counter-punching system in general, right? So.
is it like the boxing version of the guard?
Um,
It's what you do when you want to absorb a force rather than being able to be the force. I mean, I know it's a stretch, but I don't know a lot about boxing.
I would say imagine.
Because look at Strickland.
No,
Especially before he moved up.
Strickland is not a good example of that because Strickland does hold his hands like in a Philly shell, but he doesn't do anything. He's a little bit to the side like in a Philly shell, but not really the way Tony and Andrew Tony and Mayweather fought the Philly shell. They were defensive counters, right? So they would defend, bam, bam, bam.
Strickland goes.
Strickland marches forward, right?
Okay.
And he's good. Don't get me wrong, but it's
He's
just a different style
he's
of
weirdly
Philly shell.
good.
It's a different style of Philly shell, right?
And all
It's
he does jabs and foot jabs.
Yeah.
Jabs and foot jabs. That's it. It's crazy.
Yeah,
And he finds success with that.
Well, the jab is very hard to see from down under, right? It's not like from here where you can actually see you can see my shoulder move, you can see the hand come towards you. From here, it's very hard because even if I shoot it from here, you can't tell if it's going to my shoulder is going to make the exact same movement if it goes to the body or up, right? Especially if I change the angle a little bit, it's going to take you big time, right? So jabs are very good from finish shot, but it requires a lot of like ability to.
But it's just crazy to me that worked against Israel Adesanya, who is a stand-up, aficionado master.
I mean,
That's crazy
it
to
may
me.
throw you off a little bit and
That's
stuff,
crazy.
but it didn't work against others.
And it's crazy that what beats his weird style is Dricus du Plessis, just no style.
No style. That's crazy to me.
It's crazy.
It's crazy that this guy's a champion.
How he finds so much success with
He's
that.
got a big heart, man. This guy's like,
Dude,
and when
I used to
say
not
big
like
heart,
him. I used to not
yeah,
like him.
Me too.
But
And
he has grown on me, bro.
when I say big heart, I don't mean like
Like a sweetheart. He keeps going.
He keeps going. He's down on points. He'll lose that fight,
He doesn't.
but
he
he
doesn't
gets
get
up and keeps going.
discouraged.
Yeah, he doesn't get discouraged. He keeps going.
Yeah.
He's in your face.
And I think he's gonna beat Strickland's ass again.
I hope so. I don't like Strickland.
It's funny because I used to really like Strickland, but now I'm just like every time I hear him speak, I'm like,
Oh no,
shut
this
the
guy
fuck
opens his
up.
mouth and it's like.
What are you? Shut up.
I know. To answer your question about the style, think about Kyle Dake. Kyle Dake wrestling, he's not really pushing the issue. He's not shooting. He's not like he's shooting if he sees the openings and all that, but he's not pushing. He's not.
Yeah.
He's playing on especially in freestyle. He's playing on the perimeter. He's tempting you to come out,
Yeah.
and then he'll score off of your attacks.
I'm thinking of him against
So now we're thinking,
JB.
right
In the beginning,
right.
when JB was at the top,
Oh man,
he
JB
couldn't.
got so
He
pissed in this
couldn't.
last
Well,
one.
he could. Yeah. And I get
That was a
it.
qualifier for
Because
the Olympics in Tokyo.
I could beat you. I beat your ass for years, and then Kyle Dake just kept getting information and kept getting better and better until, I mean, it was almost like at a certain point, Kyle Dake, like yesterday, and Kyle Dake was like, "I'm gonna beat you now," and those doubles didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Kyle Dake would get that
The rap,
the body wrap.
This
Dude.
this is good for freestyle, but it's not gonna do you any. I mean, it's not gonna do you much good for folk style though, if you think about it, because that kind of defense for folk style is gonna.
You're gonna get. You're
gonna
get called.
No, you're gonna go for that, right?
Oh, the body wrap.
The body wrap, yeah. You're gonna go for that, and then in freestyle it makes sense because you can just flip him over and let him go.
Yeah.
And it's 2 and 2, but you get 2 points. How is it? No, it's I can't remember how the scoring goes. No, you get 4 points or something like this, and he gets 2 or something. It's you get 4 point. You get 4 points. He gets 2 for your back being exposed. But it's like a back exposure to the ground
I
bullshit,
think
you know.
it's probably you get the high amplitude.
There is a reason it's done there, but if you do it here, and you fuck it up, you're gonna get near fall, right? Scored on you.
Yeah.
And
Well, you don't
even
see
if,
those
even
raps
if you don't
in
even if you
folk
don't fuck
style.
it up in folk style, it makes no sense because you're gonna take him, you're gonna throw him, and then you're gonna let him go. In freestyle, it scores. The action of doing this scores in freestyle, even if you let him go.
Right.
In folk style, you need to have control
Right.
and get behind him to score points. So
Right.
the scoring is different. So it makes no sense.
Right.
It's actually risky to do in folk style,
And you never see that shit.
and you don't see it. Yes. Same with suplexes and stuff. You rarely see any of that in folk style because it makes no sense. It's a high risk,
Right.
low reward. You're still gonna score your 3 points nowadays.
And I kind of get both things. I like the control aspect of the folk style, but I like the excitement aspect of the freestyle, or at least what they're going for.
That's true. Freestyle is a lot more stand-up oriented. It's not the fact that you can end a match with alligator rolls or whatever they call
That's
it,
kind
and
of
leg lace
lame.
rolls.
That's lame.
That to me is
But
lame
that doesn't
because
happen all the time.
it happens more often than you would think. It happens on your way to the gold medal. It's not gonna happen probably in the bronze and the semifinal and the finals. But if you watch a tournament, and I'm talking about world class.
I mean, I've seen it happen. I saw it happen in the Olympics.
The Olympics, yeah. The fact that you see it happen in the Olympics
Yeah.
is
That's
know?
a good point.
Yeah,
That's
you
a good
see it
point.
in the first rounds, in the lower rounds.
Yeah.
And by the way, when you get a leg lace,
Doesn't have
on
to Gordon
someone,
Ryan against Pat Downey
Yeah.
in that cheesy match.
when you get a leg lace on somebody, the body wrap is not so, it's
The
not,
gut-
so,
the-
not so, the gut wrench.
the gut wrench.
It's not so strong. But the leg lace, you get a good leg lace on somebody, especially you watch the Japanese women. Holy fuck, they get a leg
The
lace on somebody.
Japanese came out this year.
They came out, but the
Crazy.
Japanese women are like still, top of the ladder, and when they get a leg lace on you, it's done. They're just rolling you. As long as they don't roll you all the way out of bounds,
Yeah.
you're good.
Yeah.
And
Have you ever been leg laced?
dude, the shit is painful.
It hurts,
And
right?
especially if you have bad knees, and all of them have
It
fucking bad
hurts.
knees. That's why I don't want to ever do wrestling
Yeah.
wrestling because of injuries.
Yeah.
I would rather he does I don't want him to be fucking I don't care. I know wrestling is good for you. I know it's a good it's good for you mentally because
Yeah.
it builds strong mentality.
I think there's a cost for all that.
There's a physical cost for all
Yeah.
that shit, man. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I think you can, unless Albert's trying to be like MMA professional.
yeah, no.
I think you can get what you get from wrestling in other ways, or you don't really need it.
I don't think
Certain
you need
things.
it.
'Cause you
To
can
be
get-
honest with you, you don't.
You can. Jiu-jitsu is going to give you enough to
I
if he wants to
think-
compete, or if he just wants to be a normal person and
Yeah.
feel confident.
I think so too. I don't want him to fight MMA. First of all, I've told him that.
Yeah. No. CTE demons.
Yeah, I don't want him to do that. I will try and talk him out of it if
Yeah.
it comes to it.
Yeah.
But especially if he becomes good at jiu-jitsu, right now jiu-jitsu is on the rise where
Jiu-jitsu gonna
money
be-
will be made.
You can be a professional, and
In
he's
10
so
years,
young.
10 years from now,
It'll be a totally different thing. It'll
10
be
years-
even better.
yeah, 10 years from now, before he gets into his prime, into his jiu-jitsu prime, let's say, just for the sake of argument, he's a professional jiu-jitsu.
He's 13, right?
He's 13.
So in 10 years,
10 years, 23.
he'll be like Rutolo-ish
Yeah. Imagine he still has another good 10 years
After
of
that.
professional,
Right.
competitive, professional
Right.
prime time,
Right.
right? That's 20 years from now.
Yeah.
You know how much,
Things will change.
this sport is going to take off?
Yeah.
Maybe MMA is going to be even better paid.
Think about 20 years ago,
yes,
bro.
No doubt. But
It's a different everything if you look 20 years ago. 2004.
speaking for MMA, you can say, oh yeah, you need wrestling, so you go to wrestling classes and stuff, and that's great. But
You can learn
how
it.
many wrestlers we have seen that just don't? Yeah, you can learn it for the sake of MMA, just like you can learn jiu-jitsu for the sake of MMA.
Right.
If you watch a lot of the MMA guys, and I'm talking about UFC, not just some obscure promotion that nobody knows about, low level. I'm talking about the UFC. If you watch, a lot of the guys in the UFC have a very low jiu-jitsu level, of skill level, very low, and they have it. They're probably good even if they go into a jiu-jitsu class. They're probably not ranked or anything, but even if they go, they can sit around and smack around black belts and stuff.
Right.
And that's because they're MMA fighters.
Right.
And that's a different style, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, and also black belt to a black belt, there's a difference. You could be a competitive black belt. I don't think they're going to smack around competitive black belts.
Right.
But,
Anthony Smith said he wrestled with Nicky Rodriguez. Anthony Smith was like, I'm a pretty good black belt. I'm pretty good. He said, Nicky Rodriguez, he was like beat him up like as if I was going
Yeah.
against a white belt
Well,
first
look at-
day.
look
And I was
at-
like, whoa.
dude, look at,
He's like, I couldn't do, he was like, there was never 1 second where I wasn't in trouble and just defending for everything I had. He was like, I've never felt this before.
and you can't tell me that this guy, and you can't tell me that if Nicky Rod had some relatively good stand-up game where he can rely on distancing, distance management, that he won't be able to take him in MMA with that kind of skill.
I think he would be good at
That's
MMA.
what I'm saying.
He'd
That's what
kill
I'm
it. I
saying.
don't want him to go in MMA,
Yeah, I don't
but I
either,
think he would represent well.
That's what I'm saying. So my point is, you don't have to be a wrestler to do wrestling for MMA. You don't have to be
No.
a jiu-jitsu practitioner
Right.
in order to be. Let's not call it good, but let's call it what's the word? Educated in the matter.
You can defend like there's
Just like you don't have to go and take boxing lessons to fight MMA. You don't have to take Muay Thai lessons to get. You need to do. In my opinion,
You
MMA
need
MMA is
something.
better than no yes. But I'm talking about specific. I think this will be misunderstood, misconstrued. What I'm saying. Um,
You need to be punching every day.
yes, but
In
you
training.
don't. But you gotta be careful where you go and what you learn, because if you go there and you start
Okay.
learning boxing for the sake of boxing, the sweet science is
I get what
very
you're saying.
different, and you're gonna get fucked up.
Boxing for boxing is
Yeah.
different than boxing for MMA.
Correct. So is wrestling for wrestling.
And so is jiu-jitsu
Or jiu-jitsu.
Right.
Yes, and you know,
That's a
people
good point.
people make that point all the time, you know, and they're like, oh, jiu-jitsu, you know, wrestling is number one for MMA and all that. I mean, correct, but not, because you can get a pure wrestler, and he might get beat up by an average wrestler in MMA, and not at wrestling, because we're not fighting wrestling.
I can't wait for Bo Nickel versus Hamza. If that ever.
Excuse me, a little technical difficulties here.
Don't worry, we're not going to edit this out.
Yeah, Bo Nickel against Hamza would be.
Bo Nickel just did an interview, and it was one of the dudes I listened to, MMA Joey, was talking bad about it, but I kind of got what Bo Nickel was saying. He was like, Hamzat's a good wrestler, but he was like, he's not what the level that I am. But he was like, there's more to that's going to go on, obviously, is with the stand-up. But he was like, his point was, he was like, look at Hamza and his matches. He gets all like, "Arr," I'm like, "Arr, ah." And he's like, and then look at my matches. He's like, I'm a competitor. I got something to do, da 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 da. So he's like, me against Hamza, I don't think Hamza will be able to stop my takedown. He's like, even if he gets back up, I'm going to take him down, hold him for a little while, he gets back up. And if that happens, he's going to have to keep doing that, and his level is going to go down. He's going to get tired. I'm not going to get tired, and that's where he's going to have trouble with me.
That could be the case.
And it made
too.
sense. He was like, I'm going to beat Hamza.
Hamza does get tired.
He does.
Yeah.
And he does come in like, "Arr!" And he was like, Hamzat's number one weapon is taking you down and then beating you up. He is not going to have an easy time with me doing that, as he has had with his last opponents. And I agree.
That's what
Honestly,
Josh
I would like
Koscheck
to
said
see.
about-
I want to see Bo Nickel get beat, but I don't think it's going to happen. Josh Koscheck.
That's what he said about St. Pierre.
James B.
It's
the
like,
jabs.
he said he was gonna take me down, and then there's a highlight reel of him flying around
Dude.
by Georges St. Pierre, who never wrestled.
Well, and the thing that was, to me, most impressive about GSP, he got beat by Matt Hughes, primarily by wrestling. Then he learned how to wrestle, and then dominated Matt Hughes. He just kept taking him down, he beat...
GSP had some wrestling even when he started fighting in Canada MMA. He had some wrestling. It was just not.
Not like
Yeah,
Matt.
yeah.
But when he focused on something and came back, it was unlike anything I've ever seen. I could not believe what I was watching. I'm like, how did he learn to become a better wrestler in just this amount of time? Because he got so dominated by Matt Hughes in the past. I'm just like, it was amazing to me.
I mean, it's different. I saw. Have you seen him? There's a video of him going against Braulio and against Roger Gracie wrestling.
I think I have seen
Yes,
this
it's
a
on
while
YouTube.
ago.
It's on YouTube. Yeah, it's relatively old. Yes.
He's
it-
good.
He's good wrestling, of course. Just wrestling and then ending up on the ground and doing jiu-jitsu, right? He was it against Roger? Yeah. I think Roger subbed him. Was it Roger or just Braulio? I can't remember. I think against both.
What I saw, it was him and Braulio.
He went against Braulio. Braulio took him down, actually. Braulio took him down, and Braulio is not a wrestler.
No.
Braulio took him down, and he finished with Kimura also.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, Braulio finished the GSP with Kimura. But Braulio is such a level. It's unbelievable.
He's
But
good.
he's not a wrestler, right?
Right.
Even when he was an ADCC champion, he wasn't a wrestler. When he beat.
Once a good jiu-jitsu person is in control of the wrestler, that's when things start going bad.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's like.
It's getting that control that's the hard part,
Correct.
quote unquote.
Correct.
Because I saw a video where, not Bo Nickel, but Nolf, Jason Nolf.
Yeah.
This was before CJI, but he showed up at it was just after the Olympic trials. I think he came in like second, or it was just after he beat JB. But he was like, I'm gonna get into submission grappling.
Yeah.
So he started training, and he showed up at B team, and I was like, oh shit, like this is something I want to see because I know he's a bully, he's a wrestler, he's really
Yeah.
good, but these dudes are really good. So I want to see how these dudes do. And
He was ragdolling them. Jason Nolf?
when I saw it, he was getting his ass beat.
Oh, what in B team?
Yeah.
No, he was.
Okay.
I have never seen. There's a video on YouTube.
There's an old
against
one
against
with
Nicky
the-
Rod.
Yes. I saw.
He was ragdolling Nicky Rod.
Okay, I must have seen a different one because
Yeah.
I've seen him twice at B team. One was a while ago
With Craig.
with
Craig was there, too.
Who was the he's not a black dude, but he's dark skinned. He wore the glasses. He used to be B team in the very beginning. He got in trouble. They fired him. He left. I heard he's like
Oh.
a dick too.
Nick
Ortiz.
Nick Ortiz, yeah.
Nick Ortiz rolled with him, and I don't want to say fucked him up, but you could tell it was just like, okay, let me, okay.
But wrestling or
No, it was
starting on
jiu-jitsu.
the feet? No. Jiu-jitsu, yeah.
And then Nicky Rod went, or Craig.
you-
It was Craig that went with him.
If you start him in a position, jiu-jitsu position, it's gonna be hard for him to.
Well, they started on the
But-
feet, but like I said, once the jiu-jitsu guy, and then this old one, it was Nick Ortiz and then Craig. Once the jiu-jitsu guy got in pretty much control, like not even, I don't even want to say full control, but got a hold of him.
There's
He-
the other
they-
thing also that they didn't take him down. They might pull.
They
guard
didn't take him down.
That's correct. They'll pull guard and stuff. It just depends on the style, right? So they'll pull guard and all that stuff, and then it's like going into shark filled water. You are not a swimmer in that water. You're
but
good.
I agree with that. But remember Nicky Rodriguez, first ADCC?
Right, but Nicky Rod wrestling against him, against Nolf. There was that latest video that was posted.
I didn't
It was
see that.
crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. Like they did like 2 or 3 rounds, and you could see I've never seen Nicky Rod gassed. And Jason Nolf was like, nothing is happening, man. He was like going, bam, bam,
Really?
bam. Yeah, watch that video tonight.
Yeah.
I just look up Jason Nolf versus on B team.
Yeah.
On the B team.
Is this like a couple of weeks ago, a couple of days ago?
It's like 3 weeks ago.
Okay, I'll check it out. Yeah, that's definitely not the one that I saw.
Yeah.
And also Jason Nolf, he's such a badass wrestler. Dude, he doesn't have anything else to do except go to jiu-jitsu every day.
Yeah.
So he's probably getting really good really fast because he already has
That's true.
such a background and just physical education with his body. It's not going to be hard to teach him, okay.
No, it's not. That's what
So
I'm
he's
saying.
gonna
Yeah.
he's gonna learn super fast, and
I
at least
think-
become a problem. I'm not gonna say he's gonna win ADCC next time. That's not gonna happen. I don't think he'll ever win ADCC. I'm gonna put that out right now. But
Jason Nolf?
yeah, he will wear some people out in some.
The rules
in
are
other
such that
tournaments.
he can go to ADCC and win it. The rules are such.
Well, I agree with you there. I just don't think.
ADCC, yes. CJI, I don't think so.
I don't think the level of competition will allow that now. Because Nicky Rod, when he got his silver at ADCC the first time,
Yeah.
he's going against Cyborg, who has been old for a while.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, he did go against Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was a champ at the time.
Muhammad Ali
And
has
he
done
was like
this.
big and steroided.
You're right. He's fallen. He had.
He fell after that ADCC 2019. He fell
I
after
think he
that.
had a bunch of problems in his life though.
Impossible.
Wasn't
I
he
don't know.
like? Wait, Muhammad Ali is
the black guy?
from
Brazil.
Okay, yeah, he has trouble.
No, I don't know. I don't know. But he went against him. He went against a few people, and he beat them. He beat them because of the rules. He didn't beat them with jiu-jitsu necessarily. Nicky Rod we're talking about.
Right. I don't think I get and I agree with what you're saying. What I'm saying is I don't think the level of people have gotten so much better now than even that ADCC that I don't and
That's
and
true.
going forward
That's
that
true.
I don't think that's going to happen again. If it does, I don't think it's going to happen again.
I think that
I will be amazed if somebody with
if
this
you
a
play-
badass wrestler comes in and wins it or gets
if you
second.
play the rules as Jason Wolf could, if you play the rules, not not necessarily. If you play the game, just think about it. Take a 20-minute match. I definitely think Jason Off can go for 20 minutes. I definitely think so, especially if he trains for that. 20-minute match. The first 10 minutes, the guy can pull guard. He can do whatever he wants. Jason Off can stall the shit out of that thing safely. The next 10 minutes, all he has to do is get one takedown and stay on top. Frankly, that's it. That's it. Even if
I don't know.
hear me out.
Do you think he'll be able to stall for 10 minutes, or do you think he would do that?
I think he will. He might be able to.
But do you think he will do that?
I think so.
I think he's a competitor, and he's like, I'm gonna go. I don't think he's gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna try. To sit back and win by one.
No, I'm
maybe
not
get
saying
like an
sit back. I'm not saying sit back, but stay safe, not stall. Like, I mean, stay.
Because remember him in the CGI, he was just jumping and doing flips and just attacking.
Correct.
I also think that's
but
what he knows.
You have to do that. Yeah, you have to do that. I mean, I think that if he takes you down, you're not getting fucked up. You know.
He took down the Rotolo boy.
I mean, he took him down, but he didn't quite take him down completely. He didn't take him down completely. Rotolos are a different breed, you know, and Rotolo,
They're a different breed, but there's Rotolo is at the same level as like say a Mika.
Yeah, that's
now,
true.
like what I'm saying the dudes
I
these
think
days.
Mika is better than any of the Rotolos.
I do too.
Technically, that is. I'm not talking about physically or anything. Although I do think that physically he might be too. But
I think they're super close.
they're super
to
close
where
now.
like
But I think
the
that
one
technically
you get caught with a
technically
mistake.
Mika is like way like.
Did you see
more
that thing
advanced than the two of them.
that Gustavo
everything.
posted? That foot trip.
Yeah. he picked his foot up and then he went. I know.
I'm like, dude, to have that kind of sensitivity must be like
He trained judo too
Okay.
before. I don't know if he has a black belt in judo.
It
but
was
he did train
so
judo.
smooth. Dude, I watched it like 10 times.
Mika is a generational talent to me because he does gi and no gi equally
Right.
well.
So do the
like
Rotolos. So do like the Pato. I think that this generation and going forward, that's why I always talk a little bit of shit about Gordon. I'm like, yeah, he's the best, whatever.
Nah.
But look at these dudes.
But I don't see
They're
it.
the best at this
I don't
and this.
think that this. Yes, but I don't think that this is something that. It's a matter of choice, man. I don't know if you can. This is
I agree. I'm just saying, if you're gonna compete, if you don't want to do gi, it's not. Don't do gi, obviously. But what I'm saying is if you are really good at both, that's just to me, that's crazier than just being the best at one.
I think that right now, everything is driven by the reputation of IBJJF, which is very superficial.
It is.
And
They're not the best
the
representative.
the moment you get a better
Governing organization.
organization financially better, like steadily,
Yeah, I agree.
which will be as prestigious,
Yeah.
like ADCC.
ADCC is
yes. I think that the gi is just gonna die out if they don't change something about it.
I don't know if it'll die out, but I think there'll be like a schism.
Yeah,
It'll almost turn into like a different thing.
Yes, and it should because it is a different thing.
It is a different
You
thing.
can't tell me
It's
like
not the same sport.
dude. This reminds me of wrestling and judo. It's the exact same thing.
Or jujitsu and judo.
No, because jiu-jitsu and judo are not necessarily. In judo, you don't go on your back. You don't go to. You don't take down.
Well, they changed that because of they
You don't
turned
go
that
to
because of the
takedowns.
rules, right?
Well, no,
They do ground stuff.
They do
but
ground stuff. They've always
changed-
done ground stuff.
Right, but they changed it. They do it less and less and less because they
now they stop
bastardized it.
doing. Now they stop doing legs, right?
I heard they changed something in judo.
In Japan, only in some place for some competition, not necessarily.
I thought they made it.
Not
when I read, I
worldwide,
thought
not
they were
the
staying down longer. Because they made it. They're like, oh, they changed
something
it.
like that. But I'm saying they used to be able to shoot on the legs, not anymore. Not anymore. You can't do the legs anymore.
Why? See, that's.
They have the. You know that they have the fireman carry is as much a wrestler move as it is a judo move, right? But the fireman carry is called kataguruma, I think. The problem is that in judo, under the current rules, you can't hook the leg for the fireman carry. You have to do it without the leg, which can be done.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't even really hook. you're kind of doing going
Yeah,
up in the crotch.
right. But you're not allowed to do it anymore because you can't really grab there. It's like so judo.
See, the
is-
one that it was interesting. I just want to bring this up real quick. The one that you taught a couple weeks ago, that's not how I was taught when I did wrestling. That's why it took me a second to, when we did fireman's carries, and I actually kind of like the one that you taught better, because when we did fireman's carries, you would just
That's because you
shoot
go for a
you
high
don't-
crotch and all
right,
that stuff.
and
yeah.
then you collapse.
The
Yours,
reason why
I like it better because you fall on your knees and you're just so you got them tight.
wrestlers do it because they go from high crotch. They do this move right where they go under,
Right.
they duck under the arm. They go
Right.
high crotch, and then from here you have to grab the arm. If you don't grab the arm, there's no fireman carry.
Right.
The
Or,
one
or they'll have a tie.
the
the
that's
tie,
what I mean.
and then they'll
that's what
bring
or
it.
they'll have a tie and go. But that's like the one I taught with the tie. You already
Well,
have the tie.
what was the
and then-
big difference to me with the one that you taught is the drop to your knees.
to both knees?
To
yeah.
both knees.
Yeah.
That's something that it was weird for me doing it at first, but then once I did, I was like, I like this better. I'd never think about doing a fireman's
You know-
carry. I would consider doing that one though.
Yeah.
If I had a good enough tie.
It's
Because even if you're doing it right, even if the dude sprawls or something, you're okay.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're not. You're very well balanced there. It's kind of like doing the Iranian lift. You know the Iranian lift?
Right.
Yeah, it's the same way. You go to both knees, and you go up, and then you're like, what do they call? Some people call it the waterfall because you fall.
I've never heard
yeah.
that. That's a new show.
Yeah, I know it's not new. I think it's just different parts of America call it different. Like, have you heard the coffee grinder?
No.
Do you know the head lever?
No.
Okay, it's the same thing. It's folk style, but in different parts of the country they call it differently, right? Folk style, you're on top, and the other guy's on bottom, and the other guy's posting like this, and you try to chop, you try to do all that kind of stuff, and you can't, but you get your head. I get my head. So I'm behind you. I get my head in here, and I pull the arm.
Oh, see, that was just a lever.
Yeah, so head lever, but
Okay.
in some parts of the country they call it a coffee grinder. I don't know why.
I don't know why
Yeah.
that's stupid.
But anyway, I heard that on the. I heard that on.
That's funny.
I was watching NCAA and I heard that and the one commentator said, "Oh, he's it's the coffee grinder," and the other guy's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "What do you call it?" He says, "It's the head lever." He says, "Well, where I come from, we learned it as a coffee grinder." He said, "Where?" It was the Northeast somewhere, and coffee grinder. And then he's like, "Well, we know it as a head lever." So that's what I'm telling you. They have different names, different like,
Yeah.
and there's like different ways to do shit.
So, like 10th Planet type shit.
A lot of stuff depends on what your body allows you to do. You know?
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff depends on what your body allows you to do. It's not everything is for everybody. That's
100%.
why. That's why you just find your game.
Yeah.
Find
Let me ask you this, because I don't want to forget. CJI 2. All right, and let me just preface it with this. You heard about the new rules.
I mean, it's
It's a
not,
team.
Yeah, but is it?
It's
is
weird.
It finalized though? That is gonna be.
I
like
think
that?
so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a quintet thing, no?
Yeah.
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 Quintet rules and. Yeah,
I don't know
team.
about all that, but it's like a team thing. My thing is, that's a brave choice, because the team aspect. Well, okay, the team aspect in MMA has not worked. GFL is trying to bring it back. The IFL did it years ago, and it went on for a while, and then it fell off. What do you think about that? I'm sure it's going to be a good show, but
I've
it's
always
like,
loved
why
the
would you
quintet.
change the? I'm like, CGI One did so well, and we're also not competing against, but we're trying to be better than ADCC. Let's be honest.
Because
Why don't we change the whole format? So
Because
what's the
I
next
think
one going to
that-
be like?
I think that
And maybe this is because it's an off year. It's an off ADCC year.
you got more competitors, more contestants. It's not gonna be.
You have more of a pool.
Yeah, you have more of a pool, right? So you got more people that can compete. You also have.
So why not try to throw an alternate ADCC?
I mean, you don't want to be an ADCC. You want to be a different competition.
Well, when I mean an ADCC, I mean have it get an individual champion, because everyone's going to be wanting that because there's no ADCC.
Correct.
So do
But-
like a CJI, but maybe do it bigger or have more. I don't know. And I'm not saying this is stupid, I'm just saying it's a daring choice, in my opinion, just because the first one did so well, and they're like, okay, we're not even going to do what we know is going to work. We're going to do something different.
This gives everybody an opportunity to participate, to make more money, as opposed to one person making $1 million and everyone else making
That's
10,000.
that's a
Because
good point.
if a team wins, they're gonna split $1 million, I believe. Assuming that they go in with the same budget, right? A team is going to split $1 million, and what happens is everybody gets whatever amount of money, because the team has about 8 people, 9 people, whatever.
I haven't even looked into that.
Yeah, they
so
have.
I'm like, okay, so I was just
So-
thinking it's going to be like 5.
So, no, it's not just 5 because they have an alternate, you know, and then they can also match. They have they can only, so when they come out and fight against the other team, they already have, it's like a baseball lineup. You have to have the lineup ready. You have to have,
So who's going first? Who's going
yes,
second?
and you have to know. You can't just say, oh, you know what, this guy is not gonna do it. Let's put the reserve in.
So
It
that's
doesn't work
different.
that way.
That's different than quintet, right?
No,
quintet, you
that's
can
how
switch it
quintet
up.
is.
Oh.
No, quintet you can't switch
So
up.
in before
Not
my
midway,
team goes
not
against your
midway through the
team,
competition.
I know who.
Correct.
Everyone knows who
Yeah.
they're gonna go
You remember
against.
how they line up in the beginning? They line up against
Because I
in
thought
front
it
of
was,
one
for some
another in
reason I thought
quintet.
it was like weight by weight. They try to do it.
Watch the quintet again now.
Okay.
You have the 5 pass?
Yeah.
Watch the quintet again. Then so you have more interesting matchups because you got, on the one side you have Gordon Ryan, let's say. On the other side you have Nicky Rod, let's say
Right.
B Team and New Wave. Then here you have this and that, this and that.
Right.
Let's say Gordon beats Nicky, and Gordon goes on to fight maybe Nicky Ryan. You know, I don't know. You know, let's say because he beat him, he stays on the mat,
Right.
and then the other person comes in.
Right.
So you can see the same person fighting three different fighters.
Yeah.
Whereas in super fights or tournaments, you're not gonna see that because of the elimination.
I think I've seen like a bootleg style quintet where there was drama because
The Aiga, no?
they didn't
Aiga?
know who was coming out next. Like it could be
Oh.
like, oh, okay, this dude let's send this dude. This will be a better
Yeah.
matchup than the original dude that we thought.
Yeah.
So they use that, but I kind of like it better. I can see the benefits of both,
Yeah.
and I guess if I was on the team, I would like to be like, okay, everyone knows who they're going against. But if the dude gets beat, then it's going to be a little bit different, I guess,
Yeah.
because it's not always necessarily one to one.
But think about it this way. Let's say New Wave goes against BT, and somehow, and Gordon is on the initial team, but we allow last minute changes, right? And they line it up in such a way that Gordon goes last. Okay, because worst come to worst, Gordon can hold off 3 people and submit them,
Right.
even if the rest of the team is out. So let's say they line it up in a way that Gordon goes last. Nicky Rod goes first, let's say. Nicky Rod submits 2 people, but then he gets gassed out and he
That's
taps to
okay.
something, let's say, right?
Yeah.
And then
Oh, Nikki,
and
okay.
yeah, and then they go bam 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 bam. But then the rest of New Wave submits everybody, and then the last person to go would be Gordon. But they figure we're gonna win anyway, even if we just stole this one.
Yeah.
We're gonna win anyway. Let's pull Gordon out so he doesn't get injured.
Yeah. Save him.
And now we don't see the fucking matchup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is a lot more gamemanship kind
Yeah.
of room for that. Whereas I think if you have preset teams, it actually makes it more interesting because you can actually see the matchups. You know.
I think I'm a dude. Nicky Rod is badass, but as a team, I mean, who's gonna beat New Wave? Honestly,
Dude, I don't know. I think that.
10th Planet, and what are the other teams?
Who?
I mean, I don't know. Right.
I don't even know why they put 10th Planet in there, but
Well,
anyway.
because they're a team, and they're like the preeminent no. When I say, or not preeminent, but the first
Yeah.
no-gi.
Well, it depends on.
And they are coming up. I will say that they have been coming up.
Depends on who takes it seriously because kind of.
PJ Barch is gnarly. They've got guys, 10th Planet. I mean, spread out, not at one spot, but they've got badass guys that are on the circuit that are doing well.
I mean, they're all.
And like PJ Barch, I watched him a lot on the PFL.
Andy Varela.
Andy Varela, that the Brandon,
McCaffrey.
yeah, his thing.
I don't know, man. I don't think that.
I don't think they're going to do anything.
I don't
As
think
long-
they'll do well. They.
But how many teams are there? I don't.
Well, there's below X, whatever, weight class and then above, right? Just like, so they can make huge amount of teams. Now you got.
But they made it.
You got
The one thing I
AOJ,
saw.
you have Atos, you got
Okay.
Gracie Baca,
Okay.
Dude,
Dude, places like Gracie Baja. there's
Checkmat. Checkmat is fucking. They're
I've heard
legit.
them in a while.
Dude, the Tackett brothers are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
okay.
just them, but.
There's like Fight Factory, but they're under that.
Yes.
flag.
Then you got the Daisy Fresh team. I'm
Yeah.
not saying they're gonna win, but I'm saying
Yeah.
these
It'll-
are interesting matchups,
They are.
man.
Yeah,
this
okay.
this is interesting,
Yeah.
And you don't know who you're gonna see against whom.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. And so, to me, that's actually quite interesting. Now, it's gonna be less money. For
I agree. I tend to agree now that I can kind of see that. I think I was mostly thinking about like the point of like winning. Like if you win, you are the champion. You get the amount of money,
Yeah.
and then just switching it to the team, it kind of muddled it. But when I'm looking at the interesting matchups, like you say,
Yeah.
I can't deny that.
Yeah,
I
think
mean,
that
you're right, and the more, and you also said there's going to be more people.
And think
I'm like,
about
you're right.
about the following. Think about the following. Everybody gets 10,000 for show, right? Maybe I don't know.
Well, yeah.
Now there's
I
a
don't
lot of players, right?
know. Yeah.
So maybe the budget will go up or something. But let's say everybody gets 10,000 for show. Not only that, but now you can pay people like Gordon, Craig. Craig John's the organizer, but people that get paid a lot of money. Gordon gets paid upward of 50,000 per match, right? So you can't pay Gordon Ryan to go and fight in Aiga or something. They're just
Right.
not gonna pay him that kind of money
Right.
right.
That's a great point.
But you can pay him now because when he wins, he's gonna get 100,000,
Right.
right?
So you're going to see him fight people that you would never ever get to see him fight.
Correct. You're
And-
gonna see him have like maybe 3 matches or something
Yeah.
in 2 days, and you don't
Hopefully.
see that. That's like ADCC.
Hopefully, we
Yeah.
haven't seen him fight in a while because of
I think
his
dude,
issues.
You know what I think? Besides his issues, I think he got injured after ADCC.
Really?
I think he got fucking. I think that Felipe was doing those bear traps, and I
Yeah.
think that Felipe actually injured him. I firmly believe that he got injured in one of the 2 matches, and I don't know which, but he got injured and he couldn't do. He didn't do anything after that. I don't know how much he's trained after that and all that stuff. I'm sure he has, but
Do you think that affected the way? Because I still think we were talking about this when we had a professor on, how he just didn't look as much of a freight train against Felipe Pena as I was expecting. Like he didn't beat him as bad as I kind of thought. Are you saying he got hurt and maybe that's why?
I don't know. It's possible, but he doesn't tell you when he gets hurt. He
I wouldn't
doesn't tell-
either.
No,
That's-
no,
I agree
not
with
you
that.
or Felipe. I'm talking about after the matches. He's not gonna be like, well, I actually busted my knee. And
Right,
He'll
right,
tell
right.
you like 2 months later.
Okay.
He'll be like, actually, I had an LCL tear, and then I had to go for unless it's obvious, where he
Right.
goes for surgery right away.
Right.
Like against what's his name? He got it.
Nicky Rod?
No, he got an LCL surgery, but.
Nicky Rod's like, oh, I broke his foot.
But you wouldn't have heard about him breaking his foot until then,
Right.
until Nicky Rod mentioned it.
Right.
You know.
I'm
And
definitely
then
looking
Nicky
forward
Rod
to it.
still talks about how he choked him out and then he tapped after the. Well,
He's still-
everybody saw the fucking thing, and nobody in his right mind thought that Gordon tapped because Gordon was fucking pointing and.
Look,
Come on.
Nick Rodriguez knows that. He's just being a sale.
Yeah,
he's
he's fueling
He's
it.
trying to,
Yeah.
create a narrative, and I get it.
Of course, that's what you want to do.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
Yeah. But
And I love him for it.
and I bet you it's the fact that Nicky Rod is the first grappler to make $1 million off of one tournament.
Probably pisses Gordon off.
And that's why he called himself the $1 million grappler and all that shit.
And I think that's exactly what Nicky Rod is trying to do. Every time he says some shit like that, I'm just like,
I don't know if he's the first though. I think Cade won it before him. Didn't Cade win
I
before?
mean, in time.
No. Didn't Cade win before or was it after?
I think they did it in order. I think you're right.
Cade won before. Cade won it
Right.
first. So he's not the first $1 million grappler. No, maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't.
I gotta go back and check that. That's a great question.
Yeah, but I don't think so.
I'd love to see Nicky Rod against Gordon, though. That's one thing that I do. I'm gonna talk shit about Gordon, just because that's what I'm gonna do. But when Nicky Rod was like, "You put up, I got my $1 million. Put up your $1 million. I know you got $1 million. Let's do this." And Gordon is like, "You broke, bitch. You da 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 da. You gotta do this. Da 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 da." I'm like, look, I know when you're the man, you've got to have a sense of like the John Jones, like. But at the same time, it's like calling yourself the best. If you're calling yourself the current best, and then a dude that's badass, and you know he's badass, and so does everyone else.
Yeah, but you've beaten him already.
Okay, that's a good.
You've beaten him already. That's my point. It's not
Multiple-
like
more
you're
than
not
once,
ducking the
more than
motherfucker.
once.
Yeah, more than once.
Okay,
You're not ducking the guy.
all right. That's
You know, you're not ducking the guy. That's my point. You know, it's like
all right. Yeah.
It's like, I mean, you
I
have
don't-
every right to say no at this point.
Yeah.
At this
I
point,
get
if
that.
Usyk wants to say no to fight 3,
If I beat
he can
you
definitely
twice,
say no. Yeah.
and I'm the man, it's hard. Yeah. It would be cool if he was like, "Okay, I'll beat you again." But yeah, you're right. He doesn't have any obligation. Dude, I already beat you twice in front of the world.
He matched up with him even after ADCC when Nicky Rod broke his foot, right?
Yeah.
He matched up with him a second time because, you know, that's what you do, right?
Yeah.
But that's
And
it. I mean,
look-
what more are you gonna do? You're gonna keep yapping until you're 50. You're gonna keep giving him rematches until you're 50, and the guy's like in his prime.
I was
And then,
impressed.
you know what I mean?
Like
It's
Nicky Rod
come
was
on.
like, you know, you beat me quick at ADCC, and then a couple weeks later, I broke your foot. I lost so much better. I get that, but somebody told me when I was wrestling, you can never gauge how good you are by how good you lose.
Yeah.
And
That's a good saying.
It's true and false. If Gordon walked in right now and we rolled and I did good,
Yeah, you didn't tap or something?
I'm not going to be going out in the world and being like, I'm the man. But as soon as I'm going to be like, Lubo, did you see me? I almost fucked him up. I mean, I know he choked me, but I had him in a footlock and he was like, you know, that would be a personal victory, but not, I'm not going to, try to get high fives from the world.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I was rolling against some guy, this guy on New Year's Day. I went to an open mat and the guy was like, he had a good like passing pressure and stuff like this. He passed my guard, and he went to, I believe he went to mount from top half guard. He was chest to chest. He was killing me, right? He went.
How big was he?
Kind of the same. He was bigger than me. I'm glad you asked.
Look, you're the homie.
Oh, yeah, I didn't want to say anything.
I'm trying to.
I didn't want to say anything because I
Nah.
don't want to sound like an excuse.
If
The
I
guy
didn't
had
like
a-
you, I wouldn't have asked that
the
question.
guy had a very good top game. I'm not gonna say that he didn't. He played the exact same fucking thing that I like to do to people. You know, he went from top half guard chest to chest to the mount. You know, he went to the mount and then he didn't tap me, and I actually escaped the mount.
Kipping escape.
I didn't kip, no.
I was the one that voted on your thing. I was
Yeah,
the one that voted emoji.
yeah, I know. No, I don't know. I can't remember what happened. He had my arm up. He had my arm up, but not here.
Mhm.
He had it up with the
Like
underhook.
Americana.
With the underhook, and he was opening it up, and then I bridged. I pulled it back, and in that instance, I recovered because I bridged to pull the elbow back, but I didn't stop. I kept escaping. I escaped. And after the match, it was like 5 minutes round. After that, he's like, "Oh man, that stole some good frames." I'm like, "Yeah, that fucking helped me a lot." You know, I told him, good frames or not, I was down there,
Struggling.
gasping for air because I know that he was in side control. He lost the mount. He got to side control after that again, and that was like a minute and a half left. And I saw him look at they have a big clock. I saw him look at the clock, and I'm like, but I was with my back to it. I saw him, and I say, "How long?" And he goes, "About a minute and a half." I'm like, "Motherfucker!" And he started laughing, and I framed an escape. Nah, I'm kidding. I didn't frame an escape.
That would be
I-
cool, though.
I was genuinely pissed that there was a minute and a half left. But yeah, there's no good losses, man.
Yeah.
There's no good losses. Like
You
it-
learn from your losses, but you can't
yeah,
celebrate them.
You know what?
You can learn, but a loss is not to be celebrated.
I did my best to defend it. I did defend it, but ultimately I would have lost on points. You know, I would have lost the match.
Yeah, but it's like I said, you're not going to want to celebrate it, but I bet you learned from that.
I confirmed what I already knew. The escapes that I did, I did not. I confirmed that the style that he did on me works, which is the style that he played the same style on me that I play on people. So I'm not gonna, you know, I honestly, I confirmed what I already knew, that I could escape that. I just am glad that I managed to stay alive underneath. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's fucking, he was big.
Yeah.
He was big and strong and, you know, and good. But
How could you reverse engineer that and figure out what you would do to keep you
Better.
from doing what you did to him? Do you understand what I'm saying? So you get on somebody and you got an underhook and you're putting their arm up and they try to do what you did.
yeah,
Could you reverse engineer that and be like, okay, if I'm doing this to somebody and they try to do what I did, I'm going to do this to
yeah,
keep them
well,
from doing that.
correct. So Axel and I actually asked Sean Williams that same question, because when you go for when you somebody goes for the arm, you know, to isolate for an arm triangle, right? Most people, what they do is they use the, not most people, but a lot of people, even at high levels, man, they use the other arm to start pulling and you know, framing here like this, so you can't push the arm, or they grab around your head so you can't. But all it does is it keeps you there. Plus, it opens up the underhook on the other side, or high mount. So the intelligent response, in my opinion, is to actually stick your, like, bump slightly, which you can do. You know, create a little space between the stomachs, the two stomachs, yours and theirs, and then just stick your arm into their hip, and then use the arm like this. Use the elbow and the forearm here to bridge in that direction and throw them off slightly, so there is a little bit of space here. So imagine if he's holding my left arm and my right arm is here, and I bridge him. He is going to have to let go slightly, in which moment I extract my elbow back down. The thing is that you shouldn't stop right there. Most people will just stop. What I did was, I figured, okay, he's gonna get it right back. So as soon as I extract my elbow, I keep going. I keep going. Yeah. So that's how you just chain the escape.
Yeah.
I went from a submission threat escape to a positional escape.
Right.
But you say, okay, so what about if somebody does it to you? People do it, you know. But so
Could he have gone to like S mount or something?
you can get triangled by doing this kind of escape.
Okay.
You can get triangled,
Okay.
but it's hard to triangle you because it leaves some space open. But if you're not careful, you can get triangled. So what's happening is, I told you that one arm is here and it's got your head in your arm, right? And you need to stick your arm first down by the
Right.
hips. So,
So
if
there's that.
he can step over,
Right.
like even with the knee only,
You're in trouble.
You're gonna be in trouble.
You're
if,
in a spot.
especially if the guy is bigger.
Yeah.
It's very hard to get out of that
Yeah.
shit anymore.
You're in a spot.
Or he's got like some very good. I think Gustavo triangled me like that once, at least once, because you know, I've tried that escape, and you step over the arm,
Yeah.
you can triangle people like that. You can get triangled. The other thing you can do, and I think Sean Williams was telling me that, was you can actually, as you have the arm there, they have it here, you can actually go into, so as you have the arm and they bring their arm across, you can turn in the same direction that his fingers are pointing. And you're gonna go, your arm is already under the head, right? Your other arm is under the head. You're gonna put a fist into their armpit behind their head, like it calls it mounted crucifix, and you're gonna pull that arm across. And now you're behind him. You lose the head and arm, but you gain the mounted crucifix, which can lead to all the other good stuff, back takes, back mounts, all that stuff, right? Whatever, really
Mount
powerful.
crucifix.
Yeah, really powerful position. So it's that was Sean Williams' solution to it. Um, but yeah. But anyway, the point is that I think that oh, I was gonna say about the CGI, but then I remember. But let's close it out in a second. But I wanted to ask you this question. I had a conversation with somebody who's a little old school just yesterday. Um, he's been training for a while, but he's been training in old school gym and stuff, and he's been training in gi primarily. So I asked him about the I didn't ask him. I told him, in my opinion, in about 5 years from now, all of no-gi jiu-jitsu, professional no-gi jiu-jitsu is going to be done professional. It's going to be done in pits or some sort of pit. Just because of the resetting and all that. It's more expensive, but I think that it's more expensive. But I think that it's going to be done in that way.
I think if Craig and them can get UFC to do it, I think that would expedite that too. Because UFC is doing like the professional grappling thing.
Yeah. But
I
think
say
about
Craig
the
now, but-
karate combat.
Right.
Think about the karate combat. How
It's visually engaging. It's cool. It's practical, but it's expensive. And I think it comes down to getting the people who have to pay the money
Yeah.
to understand the difference
Well,
between
Usually the people who pay the money for that are involved and they know the difference already.
Well, we'll see.
But yeah, I mean, I think it would be.
Because now every time I watch, like I was watching, like last week at work, I was watching a bunch of Fight Pass. I was watching a bunch of the old invitationals,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna
The
exaggerate.
EBI?
No, I don't really watch those. Just
The old EBIs were good.
I watched them back then.
Yeah.
They're all right. I kind of prefer watching the Fight Pass invitationals.
Oh yeah.
But it's kind of not hard to watch, but just a flat plane.
Yeah.
It's
And then,
so.
and then they're always like,
It
if
stops
it's
all the
elevated,
time.
if it's elevated, then
Dude,
they're
it's-
always like,
right. I'm
yeah,
scared they're gonna fall off,
yeah,
and then
and they
people
fall off sometimes.
Dude, people gotta keep them up, and
Yeah, there's like, what is this, like Japan in the
dude,
90s when
it's like a Kumite
three
and shit.
referees, yeah, and
It's
then,
crazy.
and to me, it's absolutely pointless to have, besides the fact that it's cheaper, it's absolutely pointless to have a mat like this because in wrestling, in sumo, you get penalized and you get points for pushing the other opponent out.
Right.
In jiu-jitsu, you don't.
Right.
You get penalized if you run away,
Right.
but it's very subjective. Did
Right.
you really run away?
Or were you defending?
Or were you defending? Or were you faking that you were
Right.
defending so you can run away?
Right.
And that's a controversy and all that stuff. Put the fucking fence over there
Right.
and see where he goes.
Right.
You know, he's not going anywhere.
Right.
And I think kids, all three of you that are watching, if you are training jiu-jitsu now, start training on the wall. Every gym has a wall, padded wall.
Yeah.
Every single gym, because you gotta have pads on the wall, right?
Yeah.
You better train your ass on the wall there because
That's
if
what
you're
we're doing.
if you're that's why even in my class in the morning, I've told people it rarely happens, but they stay away from the wall. But I've told them if you hit the wall, keep going. Don't
Yeah.
fucking stop. What is this? You stop because you're on the wall, so you're resetting, so you're voluntarily doing
Right.
what we hate.
Right.
You know, don't reset. Just go on the wall. You know, there is enough technique. If you're not familiar with the technique, it's a different story. But then it means you gotta get familiar with it.
Right.
You know, what just because I grab your leg, you're gonna tap. Yes, because you're not familiar with the
Right.
with the defenses. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't familiarize yourself. So
I like the wall.
I like the wall. The
And
wall
it's
is,
like-
the wall is great.
It's not like you're cheating, but it was like a fun thing. I remember rolling with you a couple times, and we get to the wall and it's
Just
like,
last
I ain't
week,
stopping.
last week, yeah.
I ain't stopping. Man.
No.
And you
Just-
and then you because you can, it's such a different feel. You're like, oh, I can use this.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, I can. And there have been times I remember rolling with you where I'm just like, fuck, this is not comfortable.
Yeah.
Like he's about to do something crazy. Like
Well,
I can
you
just
can't
feel.
sprawl.
I can feel danger coming.
Yeah.
But it's exciting.
You can sprawl, but you can also defend well.
Yeah.
You know, you can defend on the wall better. You can get back up to your feet easier than in the
It's
middle
like
of the
a.
mat.
It's like a helper.
It's a helper, but you can also get taken down easier. It's a very
Yeah.
paradoxical situation because you can get down, you can't sprawl. So if they get a good hold of you, you know, you can. That's why in MMA, you watch Khabib and you watch them, they always push you to the wall and they
Right.
start taking you down. It's a little different from GSP style where he would do it in the middle of the cage, you know.
Right.
So that type of wrestling is like, it's legit, man. There's nothing wrong with not resetting once you're on the wall.
I wonder if Karate Combat did it for those reasons, or just because it looked cool.
I think they did because it looked cool. Because
Me too.
Because they reset
too.
anyway.
They do.
To this day, I don't know
You
the
got a
rules.
second. You got a second on
Oh,
the wall,
man, I don't
but it's
know.
very even like they have the jiu-jitsu series, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
They give you, well, okay, the jiu-jitsu guys you can hang
No,
out. You can hang
could
out.
do it. Yeah.
The fighting, I think they give you a heartbeat, just like they give you a
Yeah.
heartbeat when you go on the ground, but they're quick to stop it.
Yeah.
But Craig was just fast, and he was like, "Dude, it looks like a movie. Like you're in the bar in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
You know, just weird people." He was like, "It's exciting," and then you got this whole pit
And
thing.
it's huge. It's huge. It's a huge, mat. And then they don't have to be that big. That's my point. Maybe they'll
Okay.
be cheaper if they're not that big. Imagine ADCC. Remember, in ADCC is an arena. So is CJI. You don't have to have seats right down there on the floor.
Right.
You can start the seats because look, you're obstructed view anyway. The coaches are sitting there.
Right.
You're sitting behind. I went to Who's Number One, and I was right behind the coach's bench. I was behind Mika Goval's dad, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, this is all cool, but it's obstructed view.
Yeah.
When they start fighting, it's not like MMA where they move around all the time. They start fucking, they go down in some kind of guard or half guard or something right in front of him. And I gotta stand up. If I stand up, people behind me can't see.
Yeah.
I had really good seats,
Yeah.
but obstructed view. Eliminate that problem by
That
putting
kinda
the pit
sucks.
and then just go to the first and second row.
Right.
Don't sit anybody.
Right.
You know, if they want to sit there, they can sit there. They can't see shit. Start selling the tickets from second row, third row, and above. Or whatever. And then people will be able to see it. This is an arena. It's gonna
Yeah.
look so much more spectacular.
Yeah.
You make the mats smaller. Make like 3 mats like in ADCC. Make the mats smaller, but with the pit.
So smaller than CJI.
Yeah, CJI was one huge mat.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, what do you need such a big mat for? It's
You
because,
don't need it, but it looks kind of cool.
It looks
'cause
cool.
You got so much ground.
Right, but I'm saying you don't need it. You don't need it. They didn't really. They were running all over the place. Like, I think
Well,
that.
attacking and Rotolo, those fools. I'm still tired from that shit.
I still got an injury from watching that match.
I watch it from time to time, and I'm just like, dude. And this is pretty interesting. I watched Andrew Tackett did a video before CGI, like I'm training, and he was doing Shark Tank rounds.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting because he was getting worn out. It was like after class, he was already tired, you could tell, but then they sent fresh dudes on him. And these dudes were working him out. And like he was getting submitted. Like, not every
and
time,
yeah.
but multiple times. You could tell he felt like he was winning when he could just survive.
Yeah.
But that showed me what he kind of went through. But the product was the result of all that training
Yeah.
was just spectacular. He's a version of, he lost, but damn, he didn't really lose anything.
No, I think
He lost the match, but people loved, his stock
Yeah.
grew. He only made $10,000, but dude, people know him and love him. That match is crazy.
Yeah, I think that they're gonna do a lot better if they do that.
Do you think Mickey's gonna be all right? Do you
No.
think he's gonna come back?
I don't know. He's like,
Because I found out that
he had an injury, that's why he couldn't
I
train.
remember
That's
we
why
were
his
talking
cardio was fucked
when
up. Yeah.
Gustavo was here. I
Yeah.
was just like, man, I was just so
You get king
hurt.
of cardio.
I was so hurt when I was watching that match, and then Dima came out a
Yeah,
couple
he
days
said,
later, and that made me feel better a little bit. But
I mean, but again, Nicky doesn't want to do the fucking surgery.
is that what it is?
He hasn't done the surgery, yeah.
So do you think he's ever coming back? When I say coming back, I
As a
mean
competitor,
like a
at the
serious
level?
one.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I got
Because
my
they
doubts.
were even talking, and I was like, that's weird. They were asking him, oh, so how about becoming a coach? What do you think about? I was like, damn, he's still a baby.
Yeah,
Is he done? Is he done? There's people at his gym. I'm like, fuck. Why doesn't he want to do surgery?
I don't know. He's got video games to play.
Let that man live.
I don't know, man. I really don't. No idea. But he's total opposite of Gordon.
He's a total opposite.
Yeah.
I gotta make it clear. I talk a lot of shit about Gordon. I don't dislike Gordon. If I saw Gordon, I would probably go up to him and be like, "Hey, how are you doing?" and shake his hand.
Yeah.
I would probably do that, as opposed to just be like, "Oh, fuck that dude. I'm not gonna talk to him."
Yeah,
Fuck
no,
him."
no,
I would probably be like, "You know what? I'd like to,
I mean, there's.
because I've heard him say this. He's like, I'm an asshole, and I do think he's an asshole. But he's like, I'm an asshole to people that are assholes to me. The sweetest heart ever to people who are
I have
sweethearts to
not
me.
seen
And
him-
I agree. I'm like, he's
I've
probably
not seen
right.
him start a fight on
Right.
Instagram.
Right.
I've not seen him do that. I've seen him respond, but boy, when he starts responding, it looks like a first grader.
Dude, it's so. I'm like, dude.
It's like-
it's.
That even people in the comments are like, we're expecting Gordon to start writing those paragraphs, and like 5 minutes later,
Dude.
Gordon comes up with like
It's almost like,
proof
why
from
do
10
you.
years ago and
Yeah,
shit.
it's like, why are you going so hard on this one?
For someone that doesn't do his fact checking, he sure does a lot of fact checking when he's about to
Dude.
come back to someone.
I start reading, I'm just like, dude, I'm not. It's like when Sean Strickland starts talking, I'm just like, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? Australia, America. No, I'm like, trying to change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. I'm
Oh
like,
my
shut
God.
the fuck up.
That's crazy.
People are hungry. Can we get the price of eggs down a little bit before we take over fucking Panama Canal?
Isn't that why we voted for you, motherfucker? Why we didn't, but still.
Dude, that's a funny point. And this is the last thing I'm going to say about it. But yeah, he was on an interview, his first big interview with this girl, Kristen Welker.
And he said, I don't know if you can bring the prices down.
You know, I'm like, his whole thing was groceries.
Yeah.
Groceries, guys. We gotta bring. Oh, it's hard to bring things down when they go up. Anyway, let's talk about Greenland, annex in Canada. Sending troops over and taking over the Panama Canal.
Panama Canal, yeah. It's crazy shit, man.
Dude,
And these are, you're not even talking about enemies. These are your allies.
right.
Greenland is
I heard
like,
someone ask, would you, can you guarantee, or can you say that you won't use troops
Oh, yeah,
to
he
go
did-
to Panama?
he didn't.
Nope, can't say that.
Greenland, not even Panama. They asked him about Greenland. Can you,
We're doing the
can
same
you
thing.
rule out the use of, he did say,
We're gonna do the same thing that Russia did.
Pretty much.
Roll up in someone's spot. For what reason?
It's crazy.
And he said his son over there, and I heard an interview with his
Oh
son
my
talking about,
God.
dude, there's the gold, the oil, all the diamonds in the. So Dan, we're going back to old England days. We're just gonna go take over people's shit,
Yeah.
dig up all the treasure, and
Oh, because Chinese and Russian ships are just floating around there freely, and it's like nobody's floating around there. The U.S. have a base, a military base, at
Dude.
least one, I think, in Greenland. If they want to build more, they can build more.
stop.
And the funny thing is, they don't even pay Greenland for it. It's like a protection for you know.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
all madness. Dude, the crazier it gets, I'm getting to the point. I was talking to my mom yesterday. I can't even watch. I'm not even watching the news anymore. I'm getting less and less. I can't keep up with it because when I start listening to it, I just feel like gravity in my spirit,
Bro, it's...
and I'm like, dude, I'm not even gonna. I can't.
And then Facebook and
Oh, and Dana White,
oh my God.
Do you-
I was gonna say something else, but yeah, that too.
the
He's
board of
now on the
directors.
board of
I'm like,
directors.
oh, that's not shady.
You
They're
know.
trying to get him for monopoly, and with the Instagram,
Yeah.
they're trying to break that shit up. Oh well, I'll just get Dana White because Dana White's cool with Donald. And I'm like, Luke Thomas did a whole thing on it, and it was fairly interesting. And it's probably
but
true.
Did you hear what happened just yesterday? Then all the memes started coming out.
No.
Meta, which is the Facebook and Instagram parent company,
Yeah,
they announced they're gonna stop doing the fact checking.
I did hear that. Well, they're gonna go to a thing, and I've heard this explained, but they're gonna do a community notes
Oh boy.
type thing. And they do community notes.
Oh yeah, because that
Um,
works. That works. The same community. That's
Right.
That's
Look, I don't do a whole lot of social media, but I'm like, that doesn't even sound
No,
community notes. That sounds
So
like.
so right away the posts as soon as this came out, the posts were like Mark Zuckerberg found dead at age 37.
That's not funny, but that's.
Not fact checked, but probably true.
That's pretty funny.
Whatever.
That's pretty funny.
There was another one that he got syphilis.
Not fact check.
You can write whatever you want at this point, it doesn't really matter.
Dude, all news is fake news now. News is whatever you want it to be.
I
That's what it's
saw
becoming.
I saw a clip today. I haven't seen that interview with Joe Rogan with Bill Burr, but you know Bill Burr, right?
Yeah, I like Bill Burr.
Bill Burr was there, and they're smoking cigars with Joe Rogan, and Bill Burr said something about the vaccine. He was like, "I'm not gonna get into that," and Joe Rogan goes like, "Oh, why not? Let's get into that." And he's like, "I'll tell you why not. So I'm not gonna sit here and when the whole and go against everything the CDC says to talk to you." Smoking a cigar over here with the big American flag behind you, and I don't understand anything about it. I'm not gonna talk shit about that stuff I don't know. And Joe Rogan was laughing, but he was like,
Bill Burr is the only dude in his whole group,
I know,
pretty much, that I really, really like. But what I will say, Joe Rogan knows. There was a quote. There's a thing that someone put was talking about Joe Rogan's podcast, and Joe Rogan clipped it and put it in on his thing, and they were like, Joe Rogan. Pretty much what it was saying was, Joe Rogan brings all these fucking freaks on talking about aliens and crazy ass shit and conspiracies, and just kind of giving them a platform, and it's like it's kind of ridiculous, but he's a cool guy. He's like your uncle that's weird,
Yeah.
and Joe Rogan was like, this is the truest thing I've ever heard, or the funniest thing, as in being true. So and that makes me think when Bill Burr was like, dude, I'm not gonna talk bad about the CDC. I'm sitting here talking to you, who don't know
Yeah.
shit about nothing. I don't know shit about nothing, but you're telling me shit. We're here, the American flag. Don't even get me involved. I got a black
That's
wife.
exactly what
I got
he
a black
said.
wife.
Yeah, so he does have a black wife.
He's like, I'm not fucking with. Don't get me canceled. I'm fucking around with you. And Joe Rogan knows exactly what he's talking about and thinks that's funny, which I think is cute. Joe
Have you
Rogan's a
heard
great
have you
sport.
heard this comedy where he's talking how they're watching Oprah with his wife?
No.
He's like sitting there and he's like, alright, let's watch Oprah. And then his wife's like, look at this. And it's like, oh my god, just shoot me already.
I stopped watching Oprah years ago.
No, not Rogan. I'm talking Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he has to watch Oprah because he's got a black wife. If I was married to Michelle Obama, I'd be watching Oprah every day. No disrespect, Barack. No.
Or Michelle, for that matter. Don't take that personal. I don't want to. I'm not saying you don't have a chance with Michelle.
So you're saying there's a chance? I don't know what I'd pick between Michelle Obama and Mackenzie Dern. That'd be interesting. I have to think about that.
Get them both, man.
Let's do a poll. Who would you rather see me with, Michelle Obama or Mackenzie Dern? Just put it in the comments below.
I'll clip that out. I'd be interested to see the results of that poll. Half of the people are gonna go. Half of my followers on Instagram are gonna go, Michelle is a Michael, and the other half are gonna go. The other half that knows nothing about MMA is gonna be like, what the fuck is Mackenzie Dern? Is that a guy?
I know.
That's how the poll is gonna go.
There's gonna be 2 votes. It's gonna be both of them me.
Undecided. You're gonna
One on the
vote.
one on the choco bloke. One on the 4 cauliflower ears. I'm gonna do all the posts. Damn, Ian, we got 4 votes. I'll be like, 4? Really?
Or
It'll be all me.
Ian is creating new Instagram accounts just to vote. It's like, and it still ends up in a split 50-50. He couldn't decide.
Oh my god.
It's like, I'm like, who the fuck is
69, 69.
1974. The fuck is that? And he's like, me. What is your vote difference?
69, 69, 1974. Oh my gosh.
Anyway, let's call it an evening.
I'm
on that
sweating.
happy note.
Oh.
Anyway, guys, like, subscribe if you gotten that far at all.
We love you if you got
We
that
love
far.
you. We do, because you know it shows true character.
True character. You're a
true
hero.
character, resilience to stupidity.
You're
and all
you're a
that.
champion. You're a champion.
Anyway, like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you next week.
Yes,
Let's
we
try
will.
and get somebody interesting.
We're gonna get somebody next week.
Sean Cohen is back in town, so maybe
Is he?
he's back in town. Yeah, he's been coming to us.
I mean, I'd be surprised if he could make it.
I'd be shocked too, but
I'd love.
hey, the man spent a bunch of time in England.
Yeah.
Why couldn't he make it?
Yeah, we're gonna petition for him to make it.
Yeah.
And we still gotta get Marciano.
Marciano, I heard, moved to Orange County, so that's gonna be a very hard
Did he?
role. Yeah.
Is that why Pete teaches on Fridays now?
Sometimes it does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. We'll try to get somebody though.
All right.
If not, the dynamic duo will be back.
Yeah, we'll come up with the answers for the poll.
Yes. We'll have something for you next time.
We already know what it is. Ian is gonna vote by himself. 50-50 split decision.
I want both
Undecided.
of them.
Undecided. Michelle, a lot of upside. Mackenzie Dern. I don't know.
Depends on how she does this weekend.
Yeah. It's very easy to.
I've been down with her for years.
You've been, but it's called losing over there.
So I have a chance.
You have a chance. All right, that's it for us.
Later.
Later. Peace.